On fire doesn't even explain it. It's just, where's the finish line? Have we done enough? Giving everything, like making sure that once we crossed the line, you couldn't do any more.
Halfway through the race, I was like, this is the last 1K of the Olympic cycle.
Everyone was like, this is it. Like, this was our Olympic final. If we didn't go now, then when were we going to go? It was very much an now or never.
Your lungs are screaming, your legs are screaming at you, you know, but I think it's when you move together, the boat just feels so light.
But then I saw on the screen there was the first, second, third, and I saw that and it was just like, oh my God, you did it. Thank God.
My whole family were FaceTiming them and I was still in the boat and they were handing me the phone. Everyone was screaming. It was crazy.
I remember kind of saying to myself, okay, try soak all of this up, like, you know, this is a special day, really just try and enjoy it and stay in the moment.
Like, it wasn't just emotional for us, like I'd say our families were in bits at home watching it, that sort of way. I still don't think we realise and appreciate like how we made people feel at the time.
Ready, lift. And split.
I guess for us, like, it was a real, like, the fact we missed out in 2019. Like, we wouldn't have had the same attitude to training in lockdown had we the, like, safety net of qualification.
We really didn't take the foot off the gas at all, couldn't afford to, you know. The rest of the team kind of had that safety blanket of, okay, we know we're going. If it's happening, we know we're there. And I think we were just, like, the feeling for me was like, I really don't want to be left behind. I really don't want to be sitting here watching them all at an Olympics, you know. I want to make sure that at the very least I'm qualified and I get to go.
I was new to the programme, so the extra year gave me a chance to get another year of training under my belt.
When other countries I know took quite big steps back during lockdown, we really didn't. We pushed on.
Crunch time came and it was like, hey, centre's closing. Like, you're all going home, there's going to be a lockdown.
Well, I think obviously it was very early days and there was still that Zoom novelty, you know, the table quizzes were still going around and the coaches were brilliant. Like, they sat there, they did screen recordings, they broke the stroke down for us, they were able to speak to us while we were training, like through our headphones we could hear the feedback.
You know, it always kept us accountable and it kept us like, okay, like we have to, it was almost the same as like you have to show up to the centre to train.
And we were doing the full programme just at home on the machines. I think that made a massive difference for us. I think we gained huge levels of fitness. I think also we were quite a young crew, so just having that extra year of maturity and physiology also was huge for us.
Speaking to so many athletes who had been to the Olympics before and, you know, telling you, you know, it's different to every race you'll ever do, it's, you know, different to our World Championships or Europeans, there's all eyes are on you, you know, the whole media, the whole world, but I kind of feel like we felt quite protected out in Tokyo.
It was incredible, just to see everyone there, all the athletes, you know, the Olympic Village, you know, things you'd never thought you'd get to see or never thought you'd be a part of. I suppose the only hiccup of the event was from the fin of the boat. Where is it? Down here. Myself and Emily, we were washing the boat.
You had to be really strict on washing the boats in Tokyo because it was seawater. So like the salt would like get into the rigs, get into the wheels and the seats and it would wreck it.
And I just tipped the fin.
Oh, and like she was like went to look at her arm herself and I just saw like her skin just separating and blood start pouring out.
It just sliced straight through, like you could see muscle, and I could feel almost, you know, when air gets into a cut and you just kind of hold it. So I went to Emily and she looked at me and she could see it all and she was like, don't panic.
And I think she come to the better than me because I was literally like, don't panic! And just turned my back to her.
And she turned around and she ran away. And there was blood all over me, there was blood all over the boat, there was countries looking at me. I was, you know, the Irish women's forward being whispered around the boat park, being like, someone's getting stitches.
And the coaches' faces were white, Emily's face was white. And they just rushed her off to try and get stitches straight away.
They stitched me up, everything was fine, and then I was like, so I can go rowing tomorrow, yeah? And they looked at me and they were like, oh. But I was like, my Olympic debut is this week. I was like, I need to go on water. I'm a stroke side, so my inside arm, luckily, there's not as much tension in it. And they were like, okay, but be very careful. So I raced with the stitches for the heat in the final. I didn't take them off.
And I remember the British team actually passed her on the stairway with the like scar and the bandages all up her arm, and they looked delighted.
So blood, sweat and tears went into that medal, into that event.
So as we got up early, we tried to do pre-paddle beforehand to try and get all the pre-race jitters out of the way.
Waiting for the start, and it was like, it's happening now. I remember we were coming through the last 500 and like we were gaining on Britain. And I just remember I had in my mind being like, yeah, I think, I like, it was almost like, I think we were all quite confident, like, yeah, we're good at this part, like we know what we need to do here.
I think the girls started cheering before I did, because I think I spent at least 60 seconds counting the boats to make sure that there was definitely 3 more boats after us.
Yeah, no, crossing obviously ahead of them first. I like to say I won my Olympic medal first.
Now we just hugged each other and it was just like emotion. It was just tears for a good 45 minutes after that.
Yeah, I think it must have been just kind of shock. Like, I don't think you really feel the magnitude of it, because obviously we've raced before and we've medalled before, but like an Olympic medal is just something so different and something so much more powerful. Yeah, we were the ones on that podium, but there was so many people behind that medal. Like, not only us, but the other girls that would train beside us on the ergs that were pushing us every day, like helping us improve our technique and kind of keeping the place competitive as well, but also picking us up when we're having bad days as well. That was the beauty, I think, of Rowing Ireland at that time. You know, everyone was there really supportive, and everyone had that one goal for Tokyo.
Still like hard to comprehend that like we're the first big boat, we're the first women's boat, we're the first heavyweight boat. Like, I guess, like, it really like opened, I'm hoping like it's opened younger people's eyes, like there's been lightweight men medaling, like there's been heavyweight women medaling, like that there's no like limits anymore when it comes to Irish rowing, like it's grown so much, and that like I'd like to think it's quite inspiring, because I definitely think being in that position kind of 10 years ago, like the sky's the limit, I think, definitely.
All of that sacrifice, like, even for it to pay off, but now that I'm thinking about it, even if we didn't get a medal, it would still have paid off, because the whole experience was just incredible. It's like once in a lifetime. Well, Paris, so we'll see.